Right now, beneath your feet, the Earth is alive. Molten rock churns deep below the surface, slowly building pressure over thousands of years, until one day it finds a way out. We call these escape valves volcanoes, and they are far stranger, far more powerful, and far more important than most of us ever realize. So tonight, let's journey into the fiery heart of our planet and uncover what's really going on. Let's start with a number that's hard to wrap your head around. There are roughly 1,500 potentially active volcanoes on land across the world, but that's just the beginning. The vast majority of volcanic activity actually happens underwater, hidden beneath the oceans. Scientists estimate there could be more than 1 million volcanoes scattered across the seafloor. Most of them will erupt without a single human ever noticing, releasing lava silently into the cold darkness of the deep. And here's something that surprises a lot of people. Lava and magma are not the same thing. While the rock is still trapped underground, we call it magma. The moment it breaks through the surface and meets the open air, it earns a new name, lava. It's the same molten rock, but crossing that threshold changes everything, including how quickly it cools and what kind of landscape it leaves behind. Speaking of that molten rock, just how hot is it? Lava can reach temperatures of around 1,200 degrees Celsius, or about 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot enough to melt many metals. But what's fascinating is the color. Geologists can actually estimate a lava flow's temperature just by looking at it. The brightest orange and yellow flows are the hottest, while darker red lava has cooled significantly. It's like the Earth is showing you its temperature with a built-in glow. Now, you might picture all volcanoes as towering, cone-shaped mountains, but they come in wildly different shapes. Some, called shield volcanoes, are broad and gently sloping, built from runny lava that spreads far before it cools. Mauna Loa in Hawaii is one of these, and measured from its base on the ocean floor, it's actually one of the largest mountains on the entire planet. Then there are stratovolcanoes, the classic steep cones like Mount Fuji, built layer by layer from thicker lava and ash over countless eruptions. Here's a fact that sounds almost like science fiction. Volcanoes can create their own lightning. During powerful eruptions, ash particles collide and rub against each other inside the towering plume of debris, building up electrical charges, much like the way ice particles do inside a thundercloud. When that charge releases, you get spectacular bolts of lightning crackling through the ash cloud. Scientists call it a dirty thunderstorm, and witnessing it is one of the most breathtaking displays in all of nature. But volcanoes don't just put on a light show. They literally build the world we live on. Many of the islands you've heard of, including the entire Hawaiian chain, Iceland, and much of Indonesia, were born from volcanic activity. As lava erupts from the seafloor and cools, it stacks up, layer after layer, eventually breaking the ocean's surface to form brand new land. Iceland is still growing today, sitting right on top of the boundary where two tectonic plates are slowly pulling apart. You can actually stand in a valley there with North America on one side and Europe on the other. And those tectonic plates are the key to understanding where volcanoes appear in the first place. The Earth's outer shell is broken into enormous moving pieces, and most volcanoes form along the edges where these plates meet. One of the most famous examples is the Ring of Fire, a horseshoe-shaped zone around the Pacific Ocean that contains about 75% of the world's active volcanoes. If you live anywhere around the Pacific Rim, from Japan to Chile to the western United States, you're living near this restless boundary. Now let's talk about something truly enormous. Beneath places like Yellowstone National Park lies what scientists call a supervolcano. These aren't your typical mountains. They're vast underground chambers of magma, capable of eruptions thousands of times more powerful than an ordinary volcano. The good news is they erupt incredibly rarely, with hundreds of thousands of years between major events. The landscape of Yellowstone, with its geysers and hot springs, is simply the visible breath of that giant sleeping system below. Here's a surprising twist, though. As destructive as volcanoes can be, they're also incredible givers of life. Volcanic soil is famously rich in minerals, which is why some of the most fertile farmland on Earth sits in the shadow of volcanoes. Farmers have grown crops on these slopes for thousands of years, knowing the danger, but drawn by the extraordinary harvest the land provides. Volcanoes also release the gases that helped form our early atmosphere and oceans, meaning the very air you're breathing owes a debt to volcanic activity billions of years ago. And it doesn't stop at the surface. Deep on the ocean floor, volcanic vents pour out superheated, mineral-rich water. Around these vents, entire ecosystems thrive in total darkness, with no sunlight at all. Strange tube worms, ghostly crabs, and colonies of bacteria survive by drawing energy directly from the chemicals in the water. Some scientists believe that life on Earth itself may have first emerged around these deep volcanic vents, which makes them one of the most important places on the entire planet. There's also a remarkable cooling effect that volcanoes can have on the whole world. When a truly massive eruption occurs, it blasts tiny particles and gases high into the upper atmosphere, where they spread around the globe and reflect sunlight back into space. After the eruption of Mount Tambora in 1815, so much material filled the sky that the following year became known as the year without a summer. Crops failed across the northern hemisphere, and snow fell in summer months. A single volcano had changed the weather for the entire planet. Finally, here's something to leave you with. Volcanoes give us some of the clearest evidence that our planet is not a finished static object, but a living, breathing system still in the middle of its story. Every eruption is the Earth recycling itself, pulling material down into its depths and pushing fresh rock back up to the surface. The continents are rearranged, mountains rise, islands appear, and the cycle continues, just as it has for billions of years and just as it will long after we're gone. So the next time you see a photo of a glowing volcano or hear about an eruption on the news, remember that you're not just looking at destruction. You're watching the raw, creative power of our planet at work, the same force that built the ground beneath your feet and the air in your lungs. The Earth is alive, and volcanoes are perhaps its most honest expression of that life. If you enjoyed exploring the fiery secrets of our planet tonight, consider subscribing to BetterNight for more calming journeys into the wonders of the natural world. We'd love to have you back for the next one. Until then, rest well, stay curious, and keep looking up.